Hello everybody, this is Kelly at Envy Soapworks, and I'm getting ready to make a soap that's going to be scented in an ocean fragrance. I have not tried this one yet. This is called Cobalt Beach Glass. This is from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I wanted to get another kind of ocean water scent in stock kind of before summer winds down. I don't currently have any. I've sold out of it. So I'm going to be doing that today. And I'm soaping at room temperature. I actually had my soap batches ready to go last night, and by the time I had a chance to get going it was 11 o'clock and I realized I could not keep my eyes open, so I just kind of set it aside. It's been sitting overnight, so I am definitely at room temperature, probably about like 77 degrees. And it's been 3 weeks since I've made any soap, so I'm definitely ready to do that. The last few Saturdays I've been doing other things around the house, like painting a room, getting it ready for my toddler's room. So I'm definitely ready to get back into my soap making. So here, the first color I'm going to use, this is a ultramarine. This is the Cobalt Blue ultramarine powder. I normally prefer micas. I really don't use these ultramarine powders very often, but when I want a very deep dark blue like that, I will go for the Cobalt Blue ultramarine. Here I have a very beautiful light kind of bluish green. This is called Blue Green Mica. This is from Micas and More. And I have their turquoise green. This is another very beautiful color, kind of comparable to the Peacock Mica by Mad Oils. That used to be my favorite, but this one is just as beautiful and almost the same kind of, color. And then lastly I have kind of a medium blue. This is called Luster Blue, and this is also from Micas and More. So those are the 4 colors that I'm going to be using for my ocean soap. All the reviews of this particular fragrance were really awesome. Every single one of them who used it in cold process said that it behaved wonderful. So I'm hoping that we won't have any issues. As far as my design, when I do ocean soaps, I tend to always do like an in the pot swirl type, just because I think it looks water-like, so I will most likely do that very same thing. And so let's go ahead and get started. This is my normal recipe. It's 2.5 pounds. I'm going to be using my mold from Essential Depot. So let me go ahead and get my additives blended up very quickly. And that's my white kaolin clay and my goat milk powder. So now I'm going to go ahead and get in my lye water, which is has Tessa's silk fibers. It has a little bit of sugar and sodium lactate. So I'm just going to go ahead and scrape this out very well. Okay. And now I'm going to bring this to emulsification. And I will add my coconut milk as I do. Okay, so that right there is looking just about right. I don't think that I'm going to be using a whole lot of each of these 4 colors. I'm going to try to keep a lot of the soap just white, because I've really noticed that with blue colorants, they tend to bleed a lot. That's just what I found in my experience, that they really bleed in the shower. So I try not to have soaps that are majority blue, because I don't prefer to have, the bleed in soaps that I use, so I definitely don't want to sell a soap like that to my customers. That's just personal preference. So like I said, I'm going to try to go a little bit light with all of these kind of blue colors. So let's get split up with our colors here. You know what I haven't done in a while? I haven't done a good bowl striping. So maybe instead of doing the in the pot swirl, I will do bowl striping for this one. It kind of gives the same look, just maybe a little bit less muddied up. You kind of get more definition between colors when you do it like that. So I think that sounds like a good plan. So here we are with the color combo. I'm really liking the way that each one of these have turned out. They will definitely each have their own kind of presence in the soap. They're very different, each one of them. So I'm happy with the range of kind of blue-greens that I picked out for this one. So now let's go ahead and put this fragrance oil to the test and see if I get the same result that many of the people who left a good review had. They said there was no ricing, no acceleration. I normally have an issue with ricing with ocean scents. I don't know why that is, but if I'm going to have one that rices, it's normally kind of like the ocean ozone type scents. Ooh, this smells really good in the soap, and so far it is behaving really nice. Okay, we are in really good shape here. The fragrance oil did behave really great. My batter, they are all extremely fluid right now. The white, it was a little bit yellowing to my white base, which I find when they yellow in the base, when they cure out, they kind of return back to their normal, you know, kind of more cream or white color. So I don't really worry about yellowing initially because they normally cure back out okay. So I am going to go ahead and stick with my idea to do bowl striping for this particular design. I always like the way that that looks. I just get bored with it, so I don't do it very often, but it has been a while, so let me get my bowl. Okay, so I'm going to use this bowl here. I love these little white bowls. I get these at a little discount store by my house. I think they even have these at like dollar store, but they're really hard, sturdy plastic with a handle and a spout. You cannot beat it for soaping. So I'm going to use this to do my stripe in. Okay, so first I'm just going to start off with a little bit of my white, since I have a lot of white. When I was mixing up my colors, I decided to put a little bit back of the turquoise, just because it's one of the darker ones, and I really don't want this to be a soap that's going to bleed. Even though, looking at the amount of color that I mixed up, it probably will. We'll see. I really like this color combination. It's very pretty. So in between that, I've got to put some more white. Let's start And we'll keep on striping. Okay, so I've about completed my stripe. I have a little bit of white left in my bowl, as well as a little bit left in each one of my containers, really just kind of the bottom. So I will use this to do something to the top. I am happy with the colors. Let me see if you guys can see inside the bowl, the stripe in there. Isn't that a beautiful color combination? I'm really glad that I went with kind of a more like green, because I think that really breaks up, you know, just so much blue. That's the bummer about ocean soaps to me. What I don't like about doing ocean soaps is that I feel like I always have to do, you know, just blue, 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 because it's the ocean. So it's nice to kind of have a, you know, have at least a color palette to work with, like in the blue and green range, so you can kind of mix it up each time. And so what I'm saying is I'm happy with the blue and the greens. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my pour, and I want to kind of not disturb, like I don't want to just dump it in. I'm going to kind of go slow, get a good mix of the colors, kind of move it down a little. Beautiful striping going on inside. Oh man. So I think that's going to give us a really beautiful soap. Happy with the way that that went in. Now the what's left at the bottom, you know, you kind of end up scraping in, gets a little ugly, but when it's just kind of like a layer on the top, it doesn't really matter. That's not really the part that you're going to notice or see. It's just going to be a really thin layer at the top, so it doesn't matter if it gets a little muddy looking. It doesn't show up in the finished soap. When I first started making soap, I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I didn't want to put it in because I thought it would ruin my soap, how it gets all mixed up. So if you're a beginner, don't worry about this last little bit in the bowl. Just scrape it all out, throw it in there. Even if it mixes up and the colors all get muddied into one color, it will not be seen in your finished bar. Okay, so I got that in. There was a really beautiful pattern going in. I don't know if you guys were able to see the way I had the, you know, like everything angled, but I hope that you guys got to see that beautiful pattern going in. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of my soap inside so we don't have any waste. When I use this mold, it doesn't fill all the way up, so I never have leftover soap. When I use some of my other molds, I almost get it all in there, but I always have just a little bit left over, so I have to put it in like little tiny sample molds. But with this one, I could just get everything down in there, so that is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm done getting everything in the top. As you can see, I was kind of putting a little bit of like mica drizzle on top of the soap here. I mixed the turquoise with a little bit of leftover soap that I just like soap scrapings. Just because that helps it kind of soak into the soap instead of just sitting on the top, and then later when you have your finished bars, when you grab it, you don't get that sparkly mica on your hand because it doesn't soak in. So now what I'm going to do, let's see, where's my little spoon? I normally will do a little, hold on, I should probably clean up the edges first. I do, with my ocean soaps, I prefer to do like a little ocean wave kind of texture on the top, and it's really easy to do. You just go back and forth like this, kind of tap down side to side and just drag the colors over, and it really, you can get some really beautiful patterns that look just like a wave doing it like that. And it kind of, you know, blends your colors like in a way that really looks like ocean water as well. So I usually do this just because it's different and it's pretty, and then you can just kind of go and play around with it and kind of get the look that you're wanting. If you see there's like a big block of one color, kind of go over it and try to pull other colors on top of it. So there, I am completely happy with the way that that one turned out. It looks really nice. I don't know if you guys can see the texture. Let me try to zoom it down for you. Okay, so that is the way that the kind of wave pattern looks on the soap. And so tomorrow when I give this a cut, you guys will be here with me. See you then. Hey everybody, we're back with the Cobalt Beach Glass soap. I'm happy with the way that this one smells. It's actually a little bit more manly than I had expected, but it does smell very good. You can definitely smell an ocean water type scent. This one's kind of reminding me of the Aqua Spa, if any of you guys have tried that one. I'm very happy with the color combination, and I love this pattern on the side. It's so pretty. So I'm kind of hoping that I got something similar to that on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see here, but it got very hot in the mold and had a crack that started from here to here. So I just started the fan and had it kind of blowing on it during the night time, so it stopped it from cracking any further. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a cut and see what I was able to get. I just did like a simple bowl striping, no kind of hanger swirl, just as the pour, you know, just poured it in. So let's take a peek. Oh, that's very beautiful. How pretty. I like that a lot. I always like this kind of look for a, you know, like a sea soap or like the beachy type ocean soaps. It's just fitting. I don't think I've ever done a hanger swirl for like an ocean fragrance. And that's probably why they're not my favorite to do, because I always feel like I can't do a hanger and I'm kind of like stuck to like blues and greens. I'm happy with the way the swirl is on that. Ooh, there's some of that neat feathered look right there that I was hoping for. Very pretty. So the last couple of cut videos that I did, I noticed there was like this weird like strobing, like light strobing in the background, and I could not figure that out for the life of me. And I finally figured it out, so hopefully this will be better this time. I'm still figuring out my new light and camera setup. It's always hard when you're used to working with a certain, you know, setup, and then all of a sudden you're trying to make a new one work and it's just not quite the same. So I'm pleased with the way that this one turned out. I'm never really super excited like I am with hanger swirls to cut into ocean soaps. They just don't, like, I don't know. It's just, they just don't do it for me. I think it's because they all kind of look the same to me. Because I always do them the same way. I mean, it's my own fault. I could change it up, but I I don't know, I just think that this is how an ocean soap should look. It's like a wave. So that's really pretty. I'm happy with the way that that turned out. The last couple of bowl striping soaps that I did were extremely muddy, and I don't know what I was doing differently or wrong, but this one is definitely better than the last couple that I've attempted. Oh wow, this one is gorgeous. Look at those beautiful patterns. I hope you guys can see that very well. And the top, I like the top. It turned out okay. I kind of played with it after I turned the camera off, and I think I kind of messed it up a little bit. And there is also a little like fine layer of soda ash, so it's kind of making the top look, I don't know, just like very flat and just kind of boring. Oh, that's really pretty. I was worried that this soap would bleed a lot because of the amount of blues that I use, but I really don't think that I'm going to have, I don't think that it's going to be an issue with this soap, so that's good. What's going on here? There's like this really, oh, I think there's some mica drizzle that I did that kind of got pushed down into the soap when I was messing around with it. Ooh, that is so neat. That has, I hope you guys can see this like really fine, like feathered look in there. That is a cool bar. And you know what? This fragrance is growing on me. I said it's masculine, but I don't think that it is like, it's definitely unisex. I think that a woman would enjoy this one too. It's definitely an ocean fragrance, but it's not girly at all. So the guys would definitely like this one. So this was the last piece. Ooh, that's pretty. You know, this blue almost kind of took on like a purple look. That's interesting. All right. So some of these have really different looks from each other, so let me pick a couple that are really different so you guys can see kind of the different looks that we got. So I am really pleased with the way that this one turned out. The fragrance is nice, it behaved really good. I love the pattern that I got from the bowl striping this time. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.